The party has been stigmatized and discriminated against, and as far as possible, really excluded from parliamentary processes in Germany almost ever since its existence. Political parties in Germany are generally in a very privileged position. They get a lot of public funding. So the more votes the party gets, the more public funding it usually gets. However, once a party is classified as extremist, and that's now happened, the federal authorities can deprive it of public funding. Now, this decision would have to be confirmed by the German courts, but given that most judges in Germany are appointed by federal and regional ministers or federal political bodies or regional ministries of justice, they are usually very obliging. So they could deprive the AfD of funding, which means it couldn't effectively campaign in elections. So these are drastic new powers and potentially very harmful to the AfD. By calling the AfD right-wing extremists, the hope of the government authorities is that a lot of voters would be deterred from voting for the AfD. Whether or not this will work is an open question, so I'm not so sure the stigmatization strategy will inevitably work. Secondly, there are many AfD members who are civil servants. Civil servants in Germany have a very privileged position. They cannot be sacked unless they undermine the official political order of the Federal Republic. If you're a member of a perceived right-wing extremist party, you may be removed from your job and thus lose your livelihood, even if you are a civil servant. Germany is not alone in cracking down on political criticism against the establishment. The EU has recently cancelled perfectly orderly and legitimate presidential elections in Romania. They've effectively cancelled the outcome of an election simply because they didn't like the outcome. And what you saw in France is even more frightening, over very spurious allegations involving the use of funds, of European funds in the European Parliament. The leader of the Rassemblement National, Marine Le Pen, was declared ineligible to stand in the next general election. She was leading in the polls. She would have almost certainly won. So what does all this mean? I think we are seeing Europe move into a much more authoritarian period. The so-called democratic states are neither democratic because they do not respect democratic outcomes and undesirable, from their point of view, outcomes of elections, and they don't follow the rule of law.